Well. World-class veteran video game critic Michael Does Life. Oh, Michael.
Oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup. There's an oh, it's a setup, it's a setup, it's a setup. Trailer, there's a mo, it's a beast.
Shut the fuck up! Fucker! Move!
Bad luck, I guess.
There was a girl I knew. She said she cared about me. She tried to make my world the way she thought it should be. Yeah, we were desperate then to have each other to hold. It's a long road, yeah. It's a There were so many times I would wake up anew. Yeah, with my head spinning round, I would wait for the moon. Yeah, we were desperate then to have each other to hold and give her one more chance to try to save my soul.
Never has there been an opening like this in the entertainment industry. This week, Grand Theft Auto 5 pulled in $1 billion in sales in 3 days. No movie or music release has ever come close to that.
Yeah, it was hard to give up. Some things are hard to let go. Some things are never enough. I guess I only can go. Yeah, we were desperate then to have each other to hold and give her one more chance to try to save my soul. There's a long, long road, yeah. There's a long, long road. Yeah, we were desperate. There's a long, long to have each other.
Ladies and gentlemen, folks at home, we hope you're having a fantastic day in your neck of the woods. We are here, and it has been 420 days since GTA 6 Trailer 1 and Rockstar here at the end of January 2025 remains radio silent. We were talking about this earlier this month and last month in December, and I said, IAD is coming through this. I mean, these freeloaders in here, they can't be bothered to support the show. But when GTA 6 comes out, they got $100 plus ready for this game. Unbelievable. IAD is coming through. That's what we love to see. Let's get some support in here. Let's go, guys. Tyler Sandquist is in the building. Love to see it. We got IAD coming through. Tyler Sandquist in the building. You guys need to show the support here today. It's been a while since we've streamed. You got no excuses. You got paid since then. So you need to come in here with your big fat wallet and support this fucking show, because it is the most Kino Comfy live entertainment that you'll find in all of YouTube. We're 420 days. No one's talking about this game again. We're back at that same spot. But what we do have coming is the Take-Two earnings call call, which is in early February. And I sat here and I told you guys earlier this month, I sat here and I told you guys in December that if Rockstar stays silent in January, there's no chance in hell that this game is coming in 2025. I think zombies would roam the earth before this game does come out in 2025 at this point. There is absolutely no way that this game is where it needs to be to release. IAD is coming through. He's pushing through that sludge hard and strong. That's what we love to see. Let's go ahead and get some dubs in the chat.
Ayat super chatted $5. 1 month ago you said end of Jan we'd have nothing and you were so right.
Yeah, well, I'm always right. That's the problem. That's why people can't subscribe, because they want to see you be wrong. We can be wrong, but it's not fun to be wrong. I'll tell you that. It's not fun. We're a world-class veteran video game critic for a reason, but we've never gotten the spotlight because people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want to hear the reality of the situation. Because we say these games are terrible, and they think that, but then when you start picking on their favorite game, they don't agree with you anymore. It's a sad situation, but they're low IQ people. IAD's coming through. He's popping the cherry. That's what we love to see, coming through with that 5. We are 420 days, and I predicted it. I said that this was going to happen. I said that if Rockstar goes silent for the remainder of January into February, this game, there's no way that this game is coming out this year. And it's looking more and more obvious at this point that this is going to get delayed. But at this point, Rockstar doesn't really need to delay us. Really need to announce the delay anytime soon, to be honest. There's no rush to do anything from Rockstar Games because there's no pressure on Rockstar Games to put this thing out other than a fantasy deadline that they set themselves for 2025, fall of 2025, which we obviously think at this point that is not a feasible window of opportunity for Rockstar Games to dish out GTA 6, but you losers can't be bothered to figure that one out because you still have hope. Why don't you go play Ass Creed Shadows? Why don't you go play Kingdom Come 2 and tell me how great those games are, because they're apparently the best thing since sliced bread. So go tell me how great those games are, which, by the way, bring literally nothing new to the table. Both of those games bring nothing new to the table, so in my opinion, they're both trash, but for coverage and entertainment's sake, we will probably cover both, but I don't know how long we're going to stay in those games because, quite frankly, they're not fun to play. At least the other previous Ass Creed games were not fun to play. The first Kingdom Come was not fun to play, so I'm not sure if these new entries into this franchises will change that, but I'm focused on this game again because we are approaching the earnings call in early February, and it's going to be very interesting to see what they have to show for, what they have to say in regards to GTA 6. And we're hoping that the investors call in on that conference earnings call and they ask about GTA 6 and really what's going on with that, because it just doesn't make sense. Big Mike is coming through. That's what we love to see. IAD coming through and popping the cherry, and Big Mike is in the building. Tyler Sandquist as well.
$5. They're talking the GTA 6 Standard Edition might be $100. Didn't you predict that too?
Well, all games are $100 these days. I don't know why that's even news. Starfield was $100. What other game did we play early? All of these games are already $100, so I don't know why that's even news. Now, if you're talking the standard price to be $100, that's not happening. It's not happening. The game doesn't even exist. Why are we talking about a fantasy price point? Trailer 2 doesn't even exist. We don't even know who the fuck the main characters are outside of the gameplay leaks and what Trailer 1 shows. But outside of that stuff and all of the surmising and rumors and speculation, we don't even know what the hell this game really entails in terms of the storyline, the narrative, and where they're going with it, and how woke this will be and all of that stuff. So I'm not sure why we're talking about price point when Trailer 2 doesn't even exist. Rockstar hasn't acknowledged this game in over 420 days, and you got idiots talking about the price point. Every game's $100. You want to play Ass Creed Shadows early? There was at one point an option to buy it early for probably $100, if not more. I'm not sure if that option is still there, but I know Starfield, if you wanted to play that about a week or so early, you paid $100, and gamers gladly did that because they wanted to see Todd Howard's, quote, magnum opus, which, of course, it was anything but his magnum opus. It was a big dildo going up his ass, and I think Todd loved it. That's what that was. And other gamers loved it, too, because they're secretly in bed with that. But I'll tell you that GTA 6 is in a terrible spot right now. We're in 2025 now. I've talked about this game all throughout last year, periodically. And no one cared. No one cares now. They're view-botting the show. We don't have 400 viewers, so you can just let that be known that we don't have that many viewers. But It would be fantastic if we actually had that many viewers, but you losers can't be bothered to click on this stream because we're not talking about the latest and greatest topical games like Ask Creed Shadows and the woke controversies surrounding Kingdom Come 2 and all that crap. I really couldn't care less. Both of those games are trash. We'll play them when they come out more than likely, and we'll see what they have to offer. But I think this is a more interesting story because at some point this game will get delayed. Now, that could be in a few weeks. That could be in the next month or so. That could be in 6 months from now. That could be in December of 2025. They could very well wait that long. There's really no rush to delay this game at this point. And I think that's what gamers need to know and understand is that Rockstar doesn't have to push forward. As the investors, every time they call into that earnings conference call, they're talking about NBA 2K. They're not talking about GTA 6. And whenever they do talk about GTA 6 on the last earnings conference call, they were talking about it in a way that we still had hope and we still made sense that fall 2025 was still on the table. Well, in a week from now or so, the earnings conference call is going to happen again. We will be covering it. And we're going to have to see what they have to show for and what Take-Two has to say in regards to GTA 6. Is it going to be the same old spiel, or do they have an update in regards to a more realistic timeline on when this game is potentially dropping? Because right now it's not looking good. And I said this earlier this month, and I said this last month. I said right after the 20, it's so funny how everyone came in here for this whole 27 bullshit. And you guys were so hyped on the game. And then all of a sudden, because everyone was in the belief that, oh yeah, this game is coming in 2025. This game is coming in 2025. I'm serious. If you go back and you look at people's comments before the 27 theory failed and Rockstar stayed silent, everyone was on board with this game releasing in fall of 2025. Now, obviously, that just isn't the case because, well, it wouldn't make any sense at this point to release the game in fall of 2025 as they have been radio silent for literally the biggest video game of all time for over 420 days. That makes no sense. You can't figure that one out, and neither can Rockstar apparently. But before the 27 theory failed, everyone was on board. They were chewing me out, and they were saying, well, it's not getting delayed, Michael. You just got to have patience. Rockstar's the best in the world. I love Red Dead 2. That's what they were saying. That's what they were saying. And ever since the 27 theory didn't come to fruition, all these losers and these grifters, they came out of the woodwork and started jumping on this, oh, it's delayed, by the way, bandwagon. That's the bandwagon that they jumped on. It's delayed, by the way. But they weren't having that same opinion before the 27 theory failed. So once the 27 theory didn't materialize, these losers and these woke idiots, they came on their little soapboxes and they said that GTA 6 is delayed. I told you that back in the fucking summer. There's no way, and I knew it right then and there, that when on the 1 year anniversary of Trailer 1, back in December of last year, they didn't update us at all. I knew right then and there that was a massive red flag. This game, the trailer for this game, it broke records on YouTube. To not even acknowledge that aspect of it is kind of crazy and wild to me. And everyone just sat there and normalized it and said, well, it's just the way Rockstar does stuff. It's not the way Rockstar does stuff. They have been ultra silent here. They've been silent for over 420 days. This is a world record for Rockstar Games in terms of how long they've been silent. So this is actually something that they've never done before, believe it or not. They've never been this silent for this long. That's why fans of this game are actually concerned, and they should be concerned because they still have to put out the GTA 5 PC edition with the new enhancements. So that has to come out before Trailer 2, right, presumably. And, well, we're talking more waiting. Oh, Michael, Trailer 2 could come out on Valentine's Day, by the way. Trailer 2 could come out in, late February of 2025. Well, that's fantastic. Hopefully it does come out. But right now, I don't know what you see in anything that says that trailer is coming out then, or at least points to it. It makes absolutely no sense. You guys are just throwing things at the wall and hoping that Trailer 2 gets uploaded. It's not going to get uploaded, and quite frankly, you guys don't deserve it. You guys are interested in this Ass Creed garbage. You guys are interested in this Kingdom Come 2 slop. They're all the same games. I don't know why you guys are excited to play more of the same. And then you sit there and you say the gaming industry is dead. You sit there and say the gaming industry has lost innovation. You sit there and say the gaming industry, it peaked 25 years ago. Okay, but then why are you going out and buying these sequels that bring nothing new to the table and just refine on what worked in the first fucking iteration? That makes absolutely no sense. You can't root for the new IPs. You can't sit there and say, I want this, I want that. You want creativity and originality. No, you want the same old slop fed to you. and packaged in a way that makes sense. It's ridiculous. I mean, it quite frankly is. You guys are so obsessed with Ask Creed Shadows, you can't get it out of your mouth. And, Kingdom Come 2 as well. Oh, it's Game of the Year already, by the way. And it's like, really? Is it Game of the Year already? Like, we're not even... we're barely in February, and here we are just claiming this first game that like, the first big release of 2025 is Game of the Year. I hate that bullshit. Because there isn't a Game of the Year. There wasn't a Game of the Year last year, and in 2023, I don't think there was a Game of the Year either. I mean, these releases, and they have been all terrible. You can't name one game that came out in the last 5 years that was actually pretty fucking good. Or at least above average, and at least brought something new to the table. But we're not ready for that conversation in here. That's why we barely go live, because you guys can't handle this tough conversation. Well, that's great, because in a week or so from now, we'll have 1,000 viewers again when people want to come into the Take-Two earnings conference call and listen to that, and they get fed the same old line that this game is coming out in fall of 2025. And I think that's just utter, obviously, at this point, bullshit. That if you think this game is coming out in fall of 2025, you might be very delusional, and I hope that you seek help. Because there's no way in hell that this game is releasing in fall of 2025, that I can tell you. They have been silent for way too long. They have been radio silent since 420 days, over 1 year. And that isn't changing anytime soon. There's no fire under Rockstar's butt for them to get up and do something with Trailer 2 or anything in relation to GTA 6. So I'm not sure what you guys are hyping up. I'm not sure why you even care about this game at this point, because they showed you a concept of what the game could be. And ever since then, they've shut their mouth and they haven't said anything. And you could argue, well, that's a great thing because they're working on the games hard and strong. They're not working on the game hard and strong. We've learned that last year. Early last year, we learned that they didn't want to go back to the office. Some of the workers didn't want to go back to the office. That's not working hard and strong on the game. That's throwing the towel in. So you could sit there and argue that they're working hard and strong on this game, but we have reports that debunk that theory. So at least from a few Rockstar employees that went to Jason Schreier anonymously. And speaking of Jason Schreier, we do have this on the screen right here, and he predicts, and this was his prediction, I think, last year or earlier this year. He predicts that GTA 6 will not make it, folks. And once you have Jason Schreier coming out of the woodwork, and obviously he probably doesn't know, but he would like to think he knows. But nonetheless, once you have Jason Schreier coming out of the woodwork making this prediction, I think it's really off the table at this point. I mean, it's not rocket science to put it together. It's not really that hard to figure out that this game is obviously not where it needs to be, and that you guys can't, quite frankly, carry a conversation surrounding this game unless it's right on your fucking front lap, which is ridiculous. You need this game in your console to have a conversation about it. Well, it's too late at that point. I've already told you about the woke themes. I've already told you about the upcoming censorship that is more than likely going to be in this game, but you didn't want to listen to any of these talking points, and you still don't want to listen, and you won't even after the game comes out because you're a bunch of losers. I told you guys this was going to happen. I told you guys that GTA 6 was not going to release in this timeline, and you guys can't handle it. It's a sad, sad situation, but you want to sit there and play Ask Creed Shadows, you want to sit there and play Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, well, that's great. Have fun with those games and proclaim that you're the best fucking gamer on the planet Earth. I couldn't care less. I really just couldn't care less. Go play your woke slop. Go play your fucking same old game that you played years ago. That's fine with me. I'll wait for one good game to come out. I'll play that, and then I'll praise it, and then you guys will get sick of, and tired of hearing about it. I'm not going to play these terrible releases. It's just not worth it. It's not worth it. You guys can't be bothered to come in here. You can't be bothered to support the show. I can't even afford these games anymore because you guys, it's a sad situation. How can I afford $60 when we don't even make $60 on a fucking stream? Like, we literally can't do this anymore. But that's because you guys threw in the towel. You made that choice to sit here and start, acting up and acting like a fool. You guys threw the towel in. I didn't throw the towel in. I'm here fucking hitting the live button still for 5 fucking years consistently. So I didn't throw the towel in, but a lot of other people did because they had panties up their ass. And maybe that's not what they should have up their ass. Maybe they should have something else up their ass like a dildo because I think that's more of what they like. And that's fine. But, quite frankly, it's just so sad how you guys can't be bothered to hit the like button, how you guys can't be bothered to engage with this beautiful content. We're out here. It's 40-something degrees. It's windy. And you guys still have nothing to say about this game. Which makes no sense. We're 420 days since GTA 6 Trailer 1. The Take-Two earnings conference call is coming soon. And what do you want me to tell you? You know, what do you want me to tell you? Oh, let's talk about something more topical. Let's talk about Ash Creed Shadows and how the game is amazing now. You see how they all flip-flopped on that game when the game first got announced. They were saying, "Oh, this doesn't make sense." There wasn't this, that, and the third in Japan back in the day and all this crap. And now they're just loving the game. They're gushing over Ash Creed Shadows. They're also gushing over Kingdom Come 2, despite apparently its woke themes. I guess the main character's gay now, which he wasn't in the first game apparently. I don't know the lore of that game, nor do I care about the story of that game, but apparently they made the main character gay because I guess they would thought that I don't know why, but nonetheless, that is seemingly the controversy surrounding Kingdom Come 2 Deliverance. They made the main character gay when he was apparently straight in the first game, and gamers are not happy about that. Which that doesn't concern me. What concerns me is the game better? And if it's the same thing with just a new coat of paint, better graphics, I mean, that's not interesting to me. But we'll be covering probably more than likely both of those games. And we expect your support to be very strong during those streams, because if they're not, then we're not covering any other game going forward. If you can't even be bothered to hit the like button and share the broadcast to get more people in here that actually can support the show and deliver in a way that makes sense, then I don't know what to tell you. You guys are bad off. Let's just say that, especially here in 2025. You guys are really bad off. But that's okay, because we found another platform, and we'll dance on that platform, and we'll make a lot of money on that platform. And we'll just stop producing content over here, because it's time to move on and just make better content elsewhere where we're actually recognized and appreciated for our time. Which is something that, we're just tired of coming out here in the cold weather and arguing about these games that you don't care about, and arguing about these games that, and anytime it's a game that you do care about, if I think it sucks, you're going to hit the unsubscribe button and start hating and, just being these woke losers. It's a sad situation. If I say this game sucks and you love it, you're going to, that's the straw that broke the camel's back, by the way. So, it's really Michael's right until Michael isn't right. Michael is right until he covers my favorite game and he says it's trash, and then all hell breaks loose and you guys just can't handle it, and it's just really sad. That could never be me, but could be you. So again, Jason Schreier says GTA 6 won't make it, but we also have some other things to cover. And if you guys can't be bothered to support the show, we'll wrap it up here. We've already been live for apparently 30 minutes, which is closing time here soon, since the support is so low. In fact, we won't even go live on this channel anymore, because there's no reason for that when you guys can't be bothered to support the show. We bought that Wii U from DK Oldies, and I don't even think we made our money back on that. So it's a sad situation, but when you guys throw the towel in, it's not an issue with me. It's an issue with yourself, and you need to look in the mirror, but we know that day's never going to come. With that said, let's go ahead and take a look at the latest rumblings surrounding GTA 6, and these are actually interesting, but I know that this is very fake because it's not realistic at all. Nonetheless, we'll entertain it here. This was from, I believe, last week or something like that, earlier this month. But apparently someone played the game early, which is obviously bullshit, and they wanted to share their experiences with the game. So let's go ahead. Oh, now they want to come through. Who's coming through? Holy fucking shit, that's what we're talking about.
Clad in Shadows 99 has just tipped $10 through Super Chat.
Clad in Shadows 99. We might be a little hot on this audio here. We're going to turn that down. Clad in Shadows 99 is coming through, and he's coming through in a way that makes sense. An OG legend is back in the building here. Clad in Shadows 99 is plowing through here with that hard and strong $10 super chat. He's coming through in a way that makes sense. That's what we love to see. Clad in Shadows 99 in the building and coming through hard and strong with that $10 super chat. You love to see it. Let's get some dubs up in the motherfucking chat as we read about these apparent GTA 6 details, which are all bullshit because, well, when we read them, you'll see why I know that they're bullshit. Clad in Shadows, we appreciate that, bud, coming through hard and strong. I believe the three amigos have assembled. IAD, Clad in Shadows 99. And who was the other person that came through? We had IAD coming through. We had Clad in Shadows 99 coming through, and there was someone else coming through. I can't remember who it was. We'll have to think about that, and hopefully it comes to mind. But 3 people came through already. We do appreciate that, helping support the show and keeping it afloat here. But nonetheless, let's go ahead. We're 420 days since GTA 6 Trailer 1. And let's go ahead and read the GTA 6 countdown Twitter here. Yeah, let's read it in a way that makes sense. So here we go. A user claims, I got to get more audio here. A user claims, right here, GTA 6 countdown. A user claims to have seen a few hours of GTA 6 gameplay at Rockstar from a 2024 testing, by the way. Here are all the details and features the user revealed. That should also be taken with a grain of salt. So essentially what this is a loser seeking attention on the internet. And there's a lot of those people, believe me. Okay, so let's go ahead and read these fake details surrounding GTA 6. A lot of people buy into this bullshit, but it's obviously bullshit. So let's go ahead and read it nonetheless. Shooting NPCs feels so realistic that it makes you feel bad, and it will be harder to do. First of all, that doesn't even make sense, but nonetheless, that's the first thing right here. So shooting NPCs feels so realistic that it makes you feel bad and will be harder to do. Okay. Right here, it says cops can set up crime scene. Cops can set up a crime scene after a shooting and take pictures, measurements afterwards. The bodies will be picked up and taken away to a mortuary or hospital. That is total fucking bullshit, bud. Like, dude, if you guys believe this, like, please unsubscribe from my channel because there's already a lot of low IQ individuals that watch this content, this high caliber quality content. But if you guys are seriously sipping on this fucking fake ass Kool-Aid, then it's time to unsubscribe from this channel because ain't no fucking way that this game is going to do any of this. Someone else is coming through. We love to see it. Big Mike is in the building. He's in the membership club. That's what we love to see. Big Mike's in the building. He's coming through. Let's continue to read this here. And in a way that makes sense. So again, shooting NPCs feels so realistic that it makes you feel bad and will be harder to do. Cops can set up a crime scene after a shooting and take pictures, measurements afterwards. The bodies will be picked up and taken away to a mortuary or hospital. That is absolute bullshit. There's no fucking way that the lazy millennial, because I played Red Dead 2 and I've seen the shortcomings of that. And obviously this is a much bigger game than Red Dead 2. And I know that makes the Red Dead 2 stands cry. You know, that makes them foam at the mouth. But this is a much bigger game than that game. It's a massive, massive budget. You know, Red Dead 2 obviously had a massive budget, but this has a big, big, big budget, okay? We're talking a huge quantum leap. But it's not happening. None of this is happening in this game. Like, if you really think that this stuff is going to be in the game, you're going to be disappointed day one. And let's continue reading here. It says NPCs react with realistic movements and show pain, shock. When they're shot, stomach shot makes them move slightly back, bend forward, put hand on stomach, check for blood, stumble and drop on knees, gasping for air while stuttering. Why did you shoot? Okay. Like, who is believing this garbage? Like, dude, this is like worse than AI. Like, you could go to the AI and be like, hey, type up some fucking fake ass details about GTA 6 to get people hyped up, and it would do a better job. Christian Romero's coming through. That's what we're talking about.
Super chatted $4.99. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 went woke. It's up to GTA 6 to help end the wokeness in these games.
Oh.
Trump is back. Time to end women in these games.
Well, if you think Kingdom Come 2 went woke, wait till you play this game. You're going to see wokeness personified. And I think that's why this game is delayed. You know, Trump is back in office. I think Rockstar wants to spite that. And I think they want to delay it to really just kind of rub in more woke themes. Quite frankly, I think honestly, I think they'll go further in that direction than what Trailer 1 even showed off. Because now that Trump is back, Rockstar Games doesn't like that. We know that they're, very woke. And I think the woke themes will be more abundant than ever. So if you think Kingdom Come 2 is bad with turning the main character gay, which I'm not even sure if, maybe that's all fake news, I don't know. But if you think that is bad, if it's true, wait till you play GTA 6. I mean, Christian Romero coming through. We do appreciate that coming through in a way that makes sense. The team is assembling here. I think we have the four horsemen in the building. We got Christian Romero. We got IAD, Clad in Shadows 99, and Big Mike. I think Big Mike was the one that came through. Big Mike coming through. So we remember. And the four horsemen have assembled here today. 420 days since GTA 6 Trailer 1. So we'll continue to read these bullshit details here. Yeah, this is posted on January 17th. And it says the world feels very alive as nearly everything has a physical place, even details, even debris and litter of all kinds. Okay. So they're saying trash on the street makes it feel alive. I disagree. I don't think putting trash on the street makes it feel alive. GTA 3 had newspapers on the ground. I mean, did that make it feel alive? Well, maybe back in the PS2 era. But if you're just throwing debris on the ground and saying that the world is alive because it blows in the wind and has physics, that makes absolutely no sense. Someone else is coming through. Molly is coming through.
Molly
She
like
loves.
$4.99.
That's what we're talking about. Molly is in the building. She is coming through, a total sweetheart from top to bottom. Molly is in the building showing that love and in a way that makes sense. And that's what we love to see. She loves, I love. Molly is coming through. And she's coming through so hard and so strong with that 5. And now the 5 horsemen have assembled here. Molly is in the building, the latest one to come through and show that great support here. Molly's in the building, dropping it like it's hot. And we have IAD popping the cherry, I believe. Clad in Shadows 99, a legend returning. And we also have Big Mike in the building. As we continue to read these fake details surrounding GTA 6, because it's quite funny. It says the game is breathtaking and feels truly next gen. Someone else is coming through. Molly's coming through. That's what we love to see. Molly is coming through. She's coming through in a way that makes sense. And let's go ahead and switch over here. We haven't had the chat up. We've been looking at these details. And everyone's coming through now. Holy shit, we can't even keep up. It's not on the screen for some reason. Nonetheless, we'll see what it says.
Shadow 77 super chatted $4.99. I don't believe he saw real gameplay of GTA 6.
Oh, hell no. No, it's just a bunch of bullshit that people type on, It's mental illness is really... when you get past your 30s, you'll understand what the internet is. But I can't explain it to you in here because you'll disagree because, it's your safe space. But if you go to a psychologist, I'm sure they'll have the same feeling. Nonetheless, it's a bunch of bullshit made up for attention. That's all it is. And that's all psychological, right? That has nothing to do with video games, right? But with that said, we have Dario coming through. That's what we love to see. Dario's in the building. He's coming through with that 571. Hold on, but Dario didn't play out yet. Shadow 77 did. Shadow 77 coming through. Molly's coming through. She's a member for 1 year. Molly's in the building. She's got that 1 year membership loyalty badge. You love to see it. The support is getting so strong in here, we can't even keep up. And Dario is now coming through.
Dario super chatted €5.71. Finally caught the stream.
That's what we're talking about. Dario is in the building, and he's coming through with that 571. And Molly in the building, member for 12 months, 1 year loyalty badge, also coming through with that 5. Do appreciate that. Sweetheart Molly is in the building. She's coming through in a way that makes sense. Christian Romero is in the building. He's coming through with that 5. You love to see that as well. Christian Romero is in the building. Big Mike is also back in the membership loyalty club. That's what we love to see. Big Mike was coming and returning there. We weren't looking at this here. Now we are. Clad in Shadows 99 coming back, and OG coming back with that hard and strong 10. That's what we love to see. Big Mike in here with that 2 as well. He says, I think Ass Creed BLM Ed might be a sleeper hit. Well, we'll have to see. Big Mike is coming through yet again. He's got that 3-time Tony Hawk combo.
Mike super chatted $5. If these rumors are true, this does not feel like GTA. GTA is supposed to be sarcastic, not sad or realistic. Last of Us ruined gaming with Rudy BS.
Yeah, The Last of Us Part 1 is... It's really a terrible shame what that game did to the gaming industry, because a lot of publishers looked at the success of The Last of Us 2 and they ordered the same game. They said, take our franchise and turn it into the same walking simulator movie type slop, and that's what happened for the last, however many years, last 10 or so years. They've been pumping out the same game. Look at God of War. God of War used to be a raunchy, edgy game. You would come home and play that and smash buttons. It was a hack and slash game, and now it's a Last of Us clone, and everyone says it's better than it was, and it's just crazy. I really wish David Jaffe would come out of the woodwork and really just go all in, but he doesn't want to burn any bridges. So IAD's coming through. That's what we love to see. He's popping the cherry. Tyler Sandquist, a member for 31 months. You love to see that as well. Tyler Sandquist kicking things off, I believe. IAD, rather, kicking things off. Member for 4 months, and he was coming through as well. Tyler Sandquist, though, a member for 31 months. You love to see it coming through so tremendously. And in a way that makes sense. Big Mike is in the building here. He says, if these rumors are true, this does not feel like GTA. GTA is supposed to be sarcastic, not sad or realistic. Last of Us ruined gaming. Yeah, I agree. It's just a sad situation. That we can tell you. He says the internet is a fake space where folks... Okay, well, you can talk to Dr. Phil about that. I'm not Dr. Phil. I'm not trying to be Dr. Phil, but nonetheless, let's go ahead and continue reading these details surrounding GTA 6. That are obviously fake, but let's go ahead and hit show more. The game is breathtaking and truly feels truly next-gen with a real jump in graphics compared to Red Dead Redemption 2. Well, I don't know. I mean, hold on. Trailer 1 exists, right? So does this really feel like it's going to be a massive leap compared to Red Dead 2? I don't think. I mean, Red Dead 2 looks great. That's one of the positives of that game is that Red Dead 2 does look fantastic. Even the base PS4 version, you know, it looks utterly fantastic. So this guy that claimed to have played it is saying that there's a jump in graphics, but that only works if we haven't seen it. We've seen the game. Trailer 1's been out for 420 days. I think we can make that assessment for ourselves. So I'm not sure what the hell that even means, but nonetheless, I don't think it's a quantum leap. I mean, it should be, at least in gameplay, but in graphics, I think it's very similar to Red Dead 2, which is fine, but it should be much better than that. However, we'll see. We haven't seen this game in over 420 days. Maybe the game looks much, much better than what we have with Trailer 1, so I guess maybe that does make sense. But nonetheless, storms and hurricanes feel real with wind-moving poles and road signs and NPCs losing balance and running for cover. Okay. They've had wind simulation in these games. I'm not sure what this guy's... Who's believing this crap? Well, first of all, who's even, putting this out there? 1.4 million views. Wow, you can just type up anything and get fucking views these days. People are just so desperate to be entertained. They want those dopamine receptors in their fucking brain to go off. It's insanity. It's just really crazy. Oh, this is where it gets really dumb. Here we go. Let's go ahead and read this bullshit. There's no way that this game's going to be that detailed. Now, if it is, and all of this is true... then my jaw will be on the floor day one when this game does release and presumably sometime in 2026. At least that's the current thinking. Hopefully it releases this year, but right now it's not looking good. They have stayed radio silent for all of January. Now, obviously, there's still, I think, a week left of January, but we're getting very close to that next Take-Two investor call, and if they have nothing to show for, then it's going to be a sad, sad situation. So he says crews of maintenance and cleaning will interact with the world. And what the player does, I don't know what that means, but after a big crash, traffic jams will occur until the road is cleared and a random event can be triggered and a truck and a van and a crane will arrive at the crash site and NPCs will naturally clean, remove, and load debris up and transport. Okay, buddy. You gotta be a stupid idiot to believe this shit. They're not doing that. They're not doing that. I don't even... Who's believing this? After a big crash, traffic jams will occur until the road is cleared and a random event can be triggered and a truck, a van, and a crane will arrive at the crash site. Why would a crane arrive at a crash site? What the hell is a crane? Is that some fucking UK shit? Do they call tow trucks a crane over in the UK? Because I'm assuming that that's what that means. What is a crane? Oh, and they're saying if the car flips over, you need a crane? I've never seen that before in real life. I've never seen a crane come out to a crash site and flip a fucking car over. I've never, it's a tow truck that does that. I don't know what this guy's smoking. So all of this is just total poppycock. NPCs will record and call the cops in case of a shooting or a bad big crash. Okay, buddy. They do that in every other NPC. What the fuck? How are these even features? Like, they do that in Watch Dogs too. Construction workers can actually dig, put up poles with cranes, or do road work. I would love to see that. Oh, I would love to see it. No, that's got to be the biggest one. Construction workers can actually dig, put up poles with cranes, or do road work. Yeah, I bet they can. Just like the people in Red Dead 2. You know, they're building that railroad, by the way. That's all a bunch of bullshit. Or that the lumber mill in Red Dead 2, we exposed that. We waited, and once they were done chopping the trees, they did chop the trees, and I think they did take the logs to the spot, but once they were done, they just never worked again. So it is a fallacy. It is fake. But if this game can improve upon that, and they actually have a dynamic system where the construction workers actually do something, and it's actually progress based on the in-game clock, then we will call it Game of the Year, potentially. The road is destructible to a certain point. Holes in the road have real physics, and water will remain there after a big storm until it's evaporated by the sun. Imagine believing this. Dude, holy shit. 1.3 million views, by the way. Here we go. We got more bullshit. I mean, this is so much fun. It really is. Realistic driving physics. Each vehicle will have its own feel and extra weight. Armor, passengers' bodies in the trunk will push the rear end down. Car crash physics are similar to a simulator, and cars can bend or cut in half after hitting a thick pole. Okay, buddy. I mean, if you guys believe that, first of all, they can't do any of that. I'm not going to explain it because it's not worth my time, but it's just like, if you really think that this is coming to this game, I don't know what to tell you. But it is fun to read nonetheless because it's just illusion. Buildings can be completely destroyed, but to a certain degree, player can destroy the doors, windows, walls, and roofs. You idiots think that this is all going to be in the game. You idiots think that this is... See, this is the problem with this game. Once they do delay it to 2026, all of this will have to be in the game in order to satisfy the gamer's needs. And it won't, even with the delay to 2026. Here we go. Man, this is just a bunch of slop on the screen. Jason and Lucia hold guns differently and have their own feel and weight and movements. Players will be able to carry a rifle on the back handgun strapped front. Players can have multiple van car inventories with clothes, weapons, and attachments. Stealth elements like crouching, going prone, hiding handguns under shirt, and many things similar to Hitman or Ghost Recon. Okay, buddy. It's like they watched the leaked gameplay and then just like did a big stretch after having seen that leaked gameplay. Like, this is so ridiculous. Here we go. Clothes have their own physics. When you draw a gun, clothes interact with the hand, and you can see skin underneath as they're both separate. Clothes tear, get dirty, sweaty, wet, blood, and react to knife cuts and bullets. There will be the National Guard Army at max wanted level. You can ride horses, which are available at farms and rural areas. NPCs are... Hold on. NPCs... NPCs are conscious about the player and can be robbed or intimidated into putting their phones away. The recording videos that could appear on the social media. Okay. Like, I'm so done with this bullshit. Police AI is smart as they work in groups, communicate with each other, and split in 2 or more groups. Yikes. Like, this is like some fantasy bullshit of what you think the game should be, but realistically, you have to play Red Dead 2 and ask yourself, how can they evolve from that formula? And the answer is, it's not going to be a big evolution. It's not going to be a big evolution. Just play Red Dead 2, and if you like what that game has to offer still here in 2025, then you will be satisfied with GTA 6. But if you are expecting all of this nonsense to be in the game day one, it's not happening. I mean, I would love to be proven wrong, and I think some of these are interesting to say the least, but I have seen Red Dead 2, and if you don't really play the game like you're supposed to, I guess you could say, the cracks start to show. And every time I show that stuff, they can't handle it. So, I this is some of the stuff that they said about Red Dead 2, and none of it came to fruition. So that's where we're at right now. 420 days since GTA 6 Trailer 1. Rockstar is still dead silent on this game. And the Take-Two earnings call is coming early February. In about a week or so from now, we will be covering that. The Take-Two earnings call is coming. And I suspect that it's going to be the same old talk, which we're certainly hoping that it isn't, but they better have an update better than fall of 2025, because quite frankly, I think that would be utterly ridiculous. Guys, we need you to lock in. Let's go. We need you to lock in in a way that makes sense. That's what I'm saying, Lewis. Shop owners in Red Dead 2 can't even they can't even close down their own shop. Why are we thinking that there's going to be a quantum leap here in GTA 6 because it's a $2 billion game? Like, that doesn't make any sense. The devs can't do it. I mean, they weren't able to do it with Red Dead. Why would they be able to do it now? I guess you could argue that they are working with better, stronger technology, but I thought that was going to be the case with Red Dead 2. I thought we're going to see a quantum leap with Red Dead 2. We didn't see a quantum leap. We saw some step backwards that no one wants to talk about, but because the story is so emotional and it pulls you right in, and the graphics are so fantastic that everyone else just dismisses the problems that Red Dead 2 has. But nonetheless, they're somehow thinking that GTA 6 is going to be the savior of gaming and just take this and really push it to a whole new level. And I think in certain spots, I think it could have some interesting mechanics, but overall, Rockstar has nothing to show for it. It's been 420 days since Trailer 1. I don't even know what to tell you guys. You can stay in Red Dead 2 shops forever if you want. They'll never make you leave. That's not realistic. I think if you do that in Shenmue, I think they kick you out of the shop. And that game came out in 1999, on Sega Dreamcast. So the point is that hardware isn't the limitation. And Big Mike is coming through yet again. This is what we love to see. Big Mike is in the building here today.
Mike super chatted $5. Horses. Why horses? Is GTA, it will be redundant. Also, if it had all of those small mechanics, this will be running at minus 20 FPS.
Yeah, and you also have to factor in, and no one's talking about this right now, this game is supposedly releasing on Xbox Series S, which is pretty underpowered compared to the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, not to mention the PS5 Pro and whatever Xbox has coming potentially in 2026. This game is in a bad spot right now, I'll tell you that. I mean, I don't know how you guys can't see this. I mean, it's the last time they talked about this game was in 2023. Like why even? They should just delete the trailer and just say that we need 10 more years to work on the game, because at this point we might as well wait at least until the next generation to put this game out. I mean, at this point, it's like, well, by the time this game does release, if it does get delayed into 2026, there will be a PlayStation 6, there will be an Xbox fucking Series X Pro or whatever, the Xbox Prime, and, those enhancements will be much stronger. So, if the game isn't coming out until fall of 2026, let's just say it gets pushed back a year, and let's say it comes out in fall of 2026, then waiting for the PS6 wouldn't be, another year on top of that? They might as well delay it for 2 years. We've already waited long, and we've already waited over 420 days, and Rockstar hasn't said anything. They're likely not going to say anything. I think the Take-Two earnings call is going to be the same rhetoric that, this still is launching in fall of 2025, which, of course, only Rockstar Games knows. I think Sam Houser knows, and maybe a few other executives. But no one else knows outside of that, and especially if Take-Two isn't demanding answers, then I don't know who they have to answer for. If they let Rockstar do their own thing, if they let Rockstar cook, then Rockstar is really, they're the ones calling the shots. And if they're woke now, which they are, then they're going to sit in their pajamas and they're going to talk about politics on Twitter. And instead of making the game and pushing through the adversity and making sure that they can really go forward. I mean, it's a sad situation. They would rather bitch about American politics, which they're all from Scotland or something, right? They make this game in Scotland, so I'm not sure how that really applies to them. But nonetheless, they're interested in talking about Donald Trump. And it's ridiculous. It's really what it is. I mean, imagine being a game dev in the 90s and like they were talking about Bill Clinton or something. Like what? Like that wouldn't make any sense. Like, they're nerds in the basement, they're working on a game and they're putting it out. What does politics have to do with any of this shit? But you guys love to enforce politics into all your conversations because, that's what gets the brain flowing. You can't talk about gameplay mechanics. You can't talk about gameplay details because that's not sexy. That's not attractive. It doesn't sell. So you have to talk about politics and how woke this is and how woke that is, which is so I mean, it's honestly so boring. It's like, yes, we know this shit has woke themes. You want me to sit out here and say that 500 times? You're still not going to agree. I don't care. So why even talk about it? Because everyone else talks about it anyway, right? It's such a tired topic. Oh, wow, this new game is coming out, and it's now woke. I don't care if Kingdom Come 2 is woke. I don't care if the main character is gay. I mean, I really don't care. What I care about is it the same game as the first game? Because if it is, I'm turning it off. That's what I care about. But, of course, that's not sexy. No one cares if it's the same as the first game because no one played the first game. They had to push Ass Creed Shadow. They had to push Ass Creed Shadows back because they wanted to get it away from Kingdom Come 2 so that they could have a spot where it would shine a little bit more. But you see what's happened? They've invited all of these influencers to play Ass Creed Shadows early and to say essentially positive things about it. And even if they didn't say positive things about it, they're obviously sugarcoating it. It's a sad situation. Hey, if they invited me, do you think I'm going to come back and say the game is trash? No, I'm going to take into account that they invited me. They took the time to invite World Class. They took the time to make it happen for World Class and get exclusive early access to this game. I'm taking that into account, and we are going to be nice about it. That's just how people are. So they're not paying them to say positive things, but they kind of are, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't trust any of these Ass Creed Shadows previews because they're all a bunch of clowns. And they work for the man. They work for the machine. I swear. I mean, it's just, I don't know how you guys subscribe to these clowns. The only reason I'm subscribed to these clowns is I want to see what their next laughable video is. Like, hey, I played this game early and it's great. And it's like, wow, that's the same script as, it's ridiculous. Obviously, if they invite you to their early access gameplay session, you're not going to come back and talk shit about the game. Like, anyone with a brain would not do that. Like, if you wanted to burn the bridge right there, then sure, go ahead and talk shit about the game. They're not going to say no, but they're also not going to call you back. So you have to factor that in terms of, is it worth it to sustain your credibility, or do you want to sell out and just say the game's fucking great because I want more early access opportunities? That's what it's all about. So it's a big game. It's a big, big game for these YouTubers. They want early access. They want validation. They want constant approval. And they want to feel like they're a part of this industry, that they're a big hotshot within the games industry. And it's like, imagine wanting to be a big hotshot within the games industry these days. Like, that could never be me. Holy shit. You guys can show these woke fantasy games for all I care. That doesn't, that's not something I want to do. So 420 days, and Jason Schreier, he came out earlier this month, whenever it was, and he said that he predicts GTA 6 won't make it to 2025 for the fall 2025 release. This is the most anticipated game of all time. You have to understand that. Literally the most anticipated game of all time, and they've had nothing to show for 420 days. Now, I'm not saying that it's totally off the table, but I would say 99% at this point. There is absolutely no way that this game is coming in 2025. We need you guys to start locking in here. All of the people they invited are not being kind to Ask Creed Shadows. Same script as Cyberpunk. And if you have negative points to say before a game is out, even bringing bad attention to your channel, most fans just don't want to hear the That's what I'm saying. Yeah, well, you can't criticize. I've been criticizing video games for over 13 years on this channel, and they just sat there and they dismissed it and labeled it as I was a troll. And it's like, no, these are the problems that I have with this game. This is my unique perspective, and I guess people can't agree with it, and that's okay. But they just dismissed it and said you're a troll. You're looking for views, you're looking for this, you're looking for that, which isn't true. But they wanted to put you in a category quickly when it didn't fit their narrative. It's funny how that works. You say their favorite game is trash and they get mad about it. Why? I played the game. These are the things that I found wrong with the game. I'm allowed to share that perspective. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to watch it. If it doesn't float your boat, then maybe go find another boat and see if it floats better. I mean, it's really that simple. It's really that simple. If you made a video on Watch Dogs 2 and said the game is trash, I would probably say, yeah, the game, has room for improvement. I'm not saying it's a perfect game. Zombie U, for example, we just played that about a week or so ago, and I think that's an interesting title. I'm not saying it's perfect though. In fact, it was a little too easy until we got to that one spot. But we also broke the game too. We broke the game. The zombie went crazy, but none of you guys were watching. But a very interesting experience, especially for a Wii U launch title in 2012. Now would I say it's one of the best games of all time? I think that might be a stretch, but I don't know. We had fun with it. I thought it brought something kind of new to the table within an interesting sort of premise, permadeath and. The Wii U gamepad, and you could argue, well, those are gimmicky, that's just a mobile game kind of experience, and it's like, well, it's better than a standard controller. If I wanted to play that game on a standard controller, I mean, it would be even more generic because it loses a lot of the uniqueness that the Wii U presented. And yeah, it's not, totally revolutionary, but we still have, we were barely, I don't even know if we were halfway into the game, I'm not sure, before we passed in the game. But when you pass in the game and you come back, your player is a zombie, and it's like, how many single player games do that? I don't know many that do that, where your character dies and then you come back and you can find your character as like a zombie. Like you name one zombie game that does that, that's offline, and I'd love to see that. Now there's online games that do that, but I'm talking about an offline experience. You can't find many zombie games that do that. But, here's the thing. If Zombie U were made by Rockstar Games, they would have been shilling that to the moon and back. They would have seriously have been shilling that to the moon and back. They would have said, oh, it's amazing. But, whatchamacallit, Ubisoft made Zombie U, and they sat there and they said, it's trash, because Ubisoft sucks, by the way. And it's like, well, yeah, it's just cool to hate on Ubisoft, but you guys consume their games. You'll consume this Ask Creed Shadows in March. You'll consume Far Cry 7 when that releases, which it'll be total slop. They'll have some fucking woke Hollywood actor, and they're probably Keanu Reeves or some bullshit to sell that game, because that's that's where the budget goes. They just hire this Hollywood figure, and he says a bunch of lines in like a lazy kind of acting manner, and the gamers are like blown away because they're like, wow, our nerdy ass hobby is socially acceptable now because Keanu Reeves is in our game. We're so fucking cool. I mean, honestly, that's what it is. That's one thing that I can say about Rockstar is that they don't usually hire well-known actors. No one knew who the fuck the guy who played Arthur Morgan was before the game, and now he's made a career off of milking it. Which that's he put in a lot of work, and I think he was okay. But I remember playing the game, and I shit you not, I remember playing Red Dead 2 when it came out in 2018, and I remember just listening to that voice acting and thinking, it's almost like a guy. Like you can tell it's someone doing an impression of someone from 1889 or whatever. Didn't seem authentic to me compared to John Marston. John Marston has that fucking grit to his voice. Arthur Morgan's, hey there, mister. And it's like, okay, anyone can do that. It just sounds like a drunk fucking mumbler. Hey there, mister, who let the simpleton out of the asylum? Okay, anyone can do that. Arthur Morgan, John Marston, the guy who plays John Marston, like he's got that real grit to his voice, like really good choice there. But for Arthur Morgan, they picked a woke lunatic, and he's been bitching about what's his name? He's been bitching about this whole GTA 6 thing. He said I forgot what he said, but it was something stupid. Oh, it's just like. They get, I can respect the GTA 4 guy because he didn't go and do conventions, at least as far as I know. I don't think he talks about the game. I think he told Rockstar to fuck off. I think that's fucking amazing. I think that's based. But when you have all these other actors, doing all these conventions and doing these fan signings, it just seems like you're fucking desperate for work. Like, didn't Rockstar pay you over 6 fucking figures? How much did the guy that did GTA 4 make? I forgot how much it was. It was low as hell. And that game went on to make millions and millions of dollars. Where was his cut? That's what I'm saying. But maybe they've cracked better. Maybe they've done better deals with Rockstar and the actors since then. Dutch had a good voice. Well, Dutch is an actual actor. He was in like a Marvel movie and stuff, probably for his voice. Dutch is an actual actor. The guy who played Arthur Morgan, they got him because he was cheap to hire. They whipped up a contract for him, and I bet it was probably about $650,000 if I had to guess. I mean, that's just a guess out of nowhere. But I'm sure it was probably in that ballpark, and I'm sure the guy just signed it immediately because he's never been, So they just hired him because, no one knew who Roger Clark was before Red Dead 2. Like, let's just be honest. And he wasn't even in the first game either. They did. Let me not even get started on that. You guys just want to go right back to this horse game. You love this horse crap. I'm talking about GTA 6. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about the biggest video game of all time. We're not talking about some Western fantasy game. We're done with the fantasy games. God damn. Red Dead 1 has many failures. Stephen Ogg hates the GTA fans. Well, that's based. I mean, you see, I liked his approach and how he kind of went away from it and he did his own thing. He's doing some of those TV shows like The Walking Dead and stuff like that, and he wanted to utilize it and work off of that instead of just sitting at home and doing these fan autographs and conventions and shit like that. Like, it's so desperate. It's like, wow, I was in this video game and now I'm doing nothing. And it's like, okay, but you're not old. Like, these guys are just voice actors. They can still go. So I'm not sure why they're sitting around doing nothing because they can't find work. Well, Stephen Ogg was smart about it, and he continued his acting career. And instead of just relying on the fans and that whole GTA 5 thing, that's based. So you got the guy who plays Arthur Morgan, and you got these Red Dead 2 stands that just can't get enough of the game, so they buy his autograph and they go to the conventions to get his autograph and picture and all that stuff, and it's like, well, why isn't he working though? Like, I guess you don't have to at that point. You just ride off of the success and milk that until, I don't know. I've never played Red Dead 2, and I never will. Fantasy games are the best-selling games in the world. Yeah, well, maybe in Japan. Fantasy games are the best-selling games in the world. Yeah, I FIFA and Call of Duty are the best-selling games in America, dude. I don't know where you're getting your numbers at. It's funny how you rent a room in Red Dead Redemption 2, you enter an inn, and without a word, with the receptionist, with a robot attitude, you rent a room, and he doesn't even give you the key. That's what I'm saying. It's just like there's a lot of standing around in Red Dead 2, and that's one thing that they absolutely must fix in GTA 6. Now, we have yet to see that in the trailer. In Trailer 1, we don't see that. There's a lot of NPCs just kind of standing around. And we need to get away from that. The standing around thing is not selling the believability of the open world. It's selling the believability that you're playing a video game. And I don't like we want to escape into a virtual world is what we're looking to do, and we're looking to do it with high fidelity. That's what we're looking to do. But when you have NPCs kind of just standing around like robots, it's like, well, that would make sense if, the game storyline was about androids that looked very human-like, right? But that's not the case. That's what we're talking about. No on is coming through in a way that makes sense.
Nor on super chatted $5. Stephen Ogg said he wants to be killed in the beginning
Yeah, I
of
heard
GTA 6.
That's based. Yeah, that's based. He hates the game, because he's not a gamer. Like I don't know why he has to like what he worked on. Like he doesn't. It was a job. It was a gig. He did it. He did it very well. And he moved on. But the gamers didn't move on, and now they're holding that against him and saying, well, I'm an entitled gamer. I loved your performance in fucking GTA 5 from 2013, by the way. And he doesn't respect the fans, therefore he's a piece of shit. Like, no, you're the piece of shit for having that entitlement and placing that upon him. So hopefully they do bring that character back, and they close that character off. So that way it pisses more of the fans off, because it's funny when that happens. And he'll get paid for it, too. So it's a win-win. It's a win-win for Stephen Ogg. Stephen Ogg is based. Like, he wants to be known as, like, an actual actor, not this fucking video game actor. And there's a big difference, especially in the industry. Like, you get in these TV shows and movies, like, you're going to be taken seriously. You get into these games, you're looked at as a clown. I'm assuming. Seems to be the case. Not on coming through with a 5. You joined 2 weeks ago. Let's get you banned, bud. First of all, it was Paragraph City, so... his death is why people remember Arthur, not actually anything he does in the story. He sits on the fence the whole game and is partly the issue why the gang... Oh, Lord. Yeah. I mean, it's just... Well, it's a troll account. It was made 2 weeks ago. Arthur Morgan is the deepest character, by the way. Yeah, with your emotions. The first game, the reason why you didn't resonate with the first game as much is because, first of all, it came out in 2010, but because the writing is actually stronger, and it's not formulaic like an episodic television show with like 15 fucking characters that you got to follow. Because you guys like that HBO sort of like television show kind of like approach with how they did it in Red Dead 2, where they introduce all these characters of the gang. You learn about them. You bond with them through the campfire in the camp and all that stuff. And it's just like, we already know where this is. We already know the end of this game, like, because it's a prequel to the first game. But I guess a lot of people didn't at the time play the prequel because it came out 8 years before Red Dead 2, or the sequel rather. That's the problem with making a prequel. We already know what happens to this gang. We already know the outcome. So, and it's like, here you have Arthur Morgan, a character that literally didn't exist. Now he's this big prominent character. That doesn't make sense to me at all. I'm serious. Like, that doesn't make sense. You can disregard my opinions on the game, but Arthur Morgan is not a character that exists in the sequel and had no contributions to the Dutch van der Linde gang because he was never mentioned in the game, nor was he alluded to. So Rockstar came up with this fictional character, this fantasy rather, it's all fiction of course, but this fantasy character that never existed. They didn't plant the seed, and they just said Arthur Morgan was such an impactful fucking member of the Dutch van der Linde gang. Really? Because I played the sequel and it told me that that wasn't the case. You know what I mean? It's just like, how can you do something so disastrous? This is why the new Halloween movie failed, because they introduced a character that didn't exist in the previous 2 films where they could have planted the seed and had him kind of come out of the woodwork slowly but surely within the 3rd and final act. They did the same thing with Halloween, and the Halloween fans said, we don't like it. But they love Red Dead 2. They'll be sure as hell to tell you that that game's a masterpiece, yet it did the exact same thing. Let's play as a character that didn't exist in the sequel, and he's just going to have such an impact on the Dutch van der Linde gang and how that gang operates, and really, it's an insult to my intelligence is really what it is. Like they had to make more money on this, so they just came up with this idea that this character existed. It's like, why didn't we just do all new? Why didn't we just do all new? Oh. Like, if the story made sense, it would make sense, but it doesn't make sense. And there was a big streamer that played Red Dead 2. I forgot his name. He mainly plays Fortnite. We're talking a massive streamer. This guy makes $1 million a month, probably. And he said the story wasn't. I don't know if he finished playing it, but he was honest. I mean, it seemed like he was. Maybe he was clip farming, but he was saying that he was saying that Red Dead 2, the storyline wasn't hooking him, and that they couldn't handle that. They said he had Fortnite brain and brain rot, and he was too busy on Fortnite and playing Call of Duty and all these other games. It's a big streamer. He makes about $1 million a month, probably, if I had to guess. So we're talking a massive streamer. But he tried playing Red Dead 2, and I don't know if he finished it or not, but I saw clips, and he was saying that the story wasn't doing anything. And everyone was saying, well, you have to wait till the end. And it's like, well, that's not how that works. If the storyline isn't grabbing you or hooking you in, then quite frankly, no, nope, you're wrong. The Last of Us 2 is different. The Last of Us 2 is different because, well, actually, yeah, the character model, they did change the character model, didn't they? I mean, technically the Doctor does exist, though, in the first game. So they played off of that. They picked a character that was actually in the first game, and they made a sequel. How is that hard to understand? The only thing that really ruins that story, and it has nothing to do with Abby or Joel or any of that, is that the Doctor character model isn't the same guy. So it's like, you can't... I'm just supposed to suspend my disbelief? This was Abby's dad, by the way, but he doesn't look like he did in the first game. And we're just supposed to ignore that. Like, that to me doesn't make sense. Like, they should have just kept the same character model, updated it, but they look like they're totally 2 different people. So I would say that that's a big mistake, but at least the character technically existed in the first game. Most of the missions are to make the player feel bad later on for each individual character. There was too many gang members in my... Well, because it's a television show. The first game is not formatted like that. But these days, television is bigger than movies. You know, what was that one show they were raving about? They were like, you got to watch this, you got to watch it. It just wrapped up like a year or so ago. I don't remember. But these television shows are so big these days that Rockstar wanted to emulate that, and they wanted to, you know, just drag it on and on and on and on and on. and the game's like 45 hours long. It's just this character. It's like you already know what happens to these characters. It's like I guess they were banking off of the fact that no one played the first game, or even if they did, it's like, well, we already know they're going to buy it day one, but we're also looking to this new audience, and we're going to win them over with this story. You don't have to play the first game to really get involved with the game, which is actually smart, but at the same time, kind of funny. Okay, we need the chat going, folks. It's getting cold out here. We're going to have to wrap it up soon. Zoomers love their 9-season shows. Yeah, that could never be me. Imagine sitting down and watching a television show with 9 seasons. Oh, I don't care. Oh, it's so great. It's so great. You need to watch it. No, I don't need to sit down and watch that. Okay, well, we're going to probably wrap this up here. You guys are just, the energy's too low for me to continue. It's getting colder out here. This wind is it's not as warm as we thought. But nonetheless, 140 days since GTA 6 Trailer 1, and we're still at the same spot at the end of January here. Now, of course, things could change soon. And we have the Take-Two investor earnings call soon, early February. But right now, this is where it stands, and it's not looking too hot for this game. And once the game gets delayed, you think the hype is dead right now. I disagree. I think the hype is still kind of there because there's still speculation. People can speculate on when this is coming out, what's going on with this game. You know, we can do this until the cows come home. But once the game does get delayed, the speculation won't be a thing anymore because it will be a definitive closure to at least a further point in the future where we have an update from Rockstar Games on Trailer 2. Because if this game does get delayed within the next month or so or whenever that may be, if it does get delayed, it will put an end to the conversation for a tad bit, let's just say that, because once Rockstar comes out and says, hey, we need more time on GTA 6, there is nothing left to talk about. Right now, there is a lot to talk about because we don't know what the hell is going on. That's the fun. That's the fun part about this is that, well, as far as we know, still here at the end of January of 2025, it's slated for fall of 2025 this year. But they haven't showed anything in over 420 days. And, well, that doesn't make sense. So that's why people can talk and speculate, and that's why you have people just making up absolute nonsense for attention. I can't believe that. Gameplay details, by the way. Like, who really read that and actually believed it? I mean, look, if it comes to fruition and it's all true, that would be fantastic, but it's not going to happen. You got to think more realistically. You have to look at Red Dead 2 as the template and basically how that translation layer is going to go from Wild West to modern day. And then I think you'll be at a better point. You have to look at their last output, and that was Red Dead 2 about 7 or so years ago. And you have to look at it and say, okay, well, how is this going to translate to the modern consoles? How is this going to translate to the modern era as opposed to the Wild West? And then you kind of go from there. So if you're expecting a revolution from Red Dead 2, you're going to be disappointed. I can tell you that right now. You know, they can hype up the budget. They can hype up the next-gen consoles. They can hype up this, that, and the third. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you have to look at Red Dead 2 as the base for this game and say, okay, well, this is what they could do with this in Red Dead, in GTA 6 rather, and, you know. So I guess we'll just have to wait and see on how the cookie is ultimately, it's unconfirmed. Yeah, well, obviously it's fake. February 7th is the next target date. Well, I think, yeah, February 7th, I believe, is the Take-Two earnings call. That I could tell you. The 27 theory. We need some screenshots to keep quiet. The autistic social media users. Yeah, it's a sad situation. People need to participate. Yeah, I agree, but it's getting too cold out here. We underdressed here today. So if you guys can't move the chat, then I don't know what to tell you. I can't keep babbling. I mean, we can, but it's not pleasant because the wind is making it cooler out here than it seems. Red Dead 2 is a native PS4 game. GTA 6 is a native PS5 game. Well, I think that is interesting, and I think this is going to be fascinating to see how they utilize the SSD of the PlayStation 5 and the new consoles that they have. But we won't know what that fully entails until we play it, and that might not be until late 2026 at this freaking point. Hell, I think this game might get delayed 2 more times. At this point, I think this game might get delayed 2 more times. I think this game might get pushed into maybe spring of 2026, and then I think it might get delayed again after that. I don't know why people thought that they were so far along because they put out Trailer 1. And I made the argument, I said, why does Trailer 1 need to exist? Why does Trailer 1 need to exist? And everyone just sat there and said, well, we're glad it exists. No, that's not an answer. Why did they put out Trailer? Oh, because the game leaked, by the way. Yeah, well, the game leaked in 2022. So if it took them that long to make a trailer, then, well, they're down bad. So why did the Trailer 1 even need to exist? It came out of nowhere. I'm telling you guys, it came out of nowhere. It came out of nowhere. Randomly, oh, yeah, by the way, we have, we're celebrating our anniversary or something, and then, we have a trailer for GTA, the next iteration of GTA, and now here we are, 420 days, bro. 420 days, bro. And we still have absolutely no word from Rockstar Games. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, if you can't see this, if you can't see the disaster that this game is already, well, then I don't know what to tell you. It's not normal for them to stay silent for this long. In fact, they've never done this before. They've never done this before. And as the wait increases, it's going to get more embarrassing for Rockstar Games because back in the day, when did GTA 3 come out? 2001? When did Vice City come out? 2002? I mean, look at that time frame. 2003? Look at that time frame. They were pumping out games left and fucking right. Now we're waiting just for trailers. Like, really? We're waiting for a new trailer, and it's been over 420 days. The old Rockstar, they'd be working on another game, and it'd be out in another year from now. Back in the PS2 era. And now we're just waiting for trailer 2. Not even a... Oh. It's a sad situation, tell you that. Take-Two will have to show the predicted sales for 2025 in the earnings call so we know GTA 6 is delayed or not. Well, that's what I said. The Take-Two earnings call is coming. And we'll be covering it. That's why I've resumed my coverage on GTA 6. Because we took a little break there. If you didn't notice, we took a little break for about a week or so. Maybe 2 weeks, I can't remember. But we took a little break, especially after the 27 theory. Non is coming through yet again. We'll keep it going here for a little bit longer. That's what we're talking about. Two-tide Tony Hawk combo.
Nor on super chatted $5. GTA 6 can suck my wiener. This game should have been out years ago.
Yeah. Yeah, this game should have been out a long, long time ago. It is ridiculous that I mean, when you really just sit back and think, and I know that's a hard thing for some people to do, but if you really just sit back and think, why isn't this game out? I mean, it's a clown show is really what it is. It's a laughing stock. Rockstar Games they're nothing but clowns. Why is this game not out? Oh, it takes a long time to make games. I worked at Rockstar Games, Michael. I know how game development works. Yeah, I bet you do. I bet you do. It's so funny how you have these people that just have never done it before, but they know how to do it. It's like that would be like going to the car mechanic and saying, hey, I know how to fix a car better than you. Have you actually got under the hood and fixed the car? If the answer is no, then you don't know how to do it. I mean, it's ridiculous. But they want to proclaim to be experts. Like, well, I know how to fix the car. I know how to do this. I know how to mow the grass. Have you ever started a lawnmower up and mowed the grass? I mean, it's ridiculous. So these wannabe game devs come in here and say, well, this is why the game isn't out, Michael. It's not hard. I have a high IQ. It's like, I make mods in my basement. And it's like, okay, that has nothing to do with game development. Like, it really doesn't. They don't make game. A single person doesn't make a game. I mean, that isn't typically the case in AAA releases. It's a whole team. And that's what sets the actual game devs apart from the incels in their basement, is that they know how to communicate and socialize and look people in the eyes. That's why you'll never have a job in the games industry, because you just want to sit around and make mods in your basement for 5 people to play and think you're just a game dev. It's not going to happen. Oh, shit. They released so many games in the Rockstar PS2 era. We're getting a new Mafia trailer. Okay, we got an issue here. They can't lie about the predicted sales. It doesn't matter. They have other intellectual properties that are going to do well for them. They have the new WWE 2K game that just got a new trailer. They have NBA 2K. They have Mafia. They have all... I don't know. It has nothing to do with this game. I don't know where you're seeing this game in the equation. They can make billions of dollars on all these other games. They don't need GTA 6. That's the problem. If they needed GTA 6, they'd be up Rockstar's ass saying, hey, where the fuck's this trailer to? They don't need GTA 6. They got NBA, they got wrestling, they got, basketball, they got all this other stuff. So they don't need GTA 6. That's why this game isn't happening. Because no one's saying, hey, Rockstar, where's this fucking trailer 2? That's the problem. No one's putting pressure on Rockstar to put out trailer 2. But you guys, this conversation is just not sexy or attractive enough for you to get on board with it. But if your favorite YouTuber made a video about it, hell, Luke Steffens tomorrow, I'm sure he's got a 15-minute video coming out, and he's going to talk all about GTA 6 and have fucking 15 ads throughout the whole video and milk all the ad. Well, you guys love that. But you can't handle a real raw conversation that's actually live outside. You can't handle that because it just doesn't resonate with the brain because, gamers aren't outside. Well, that's okay because we're breaking that tradition. I'm going to make a video game console and it's going to be like, this has to be played outside. There you go. All the games are meant to be played outside. Let's get these gamers out of the basement. Get you some vitamin D at least. Alrighty, folks, the chat is totally dead. Therefore, I have to wrap it up, folks, as the conversation has come to a complete halt. You guys can't resonate with it. There's 274 people in here, 234 people in here, however many people in here, and they just still can't figure it out. But that's okay because we're wrapping it up here. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. If not, well, we'll see you later as we anticipate this Take-Two earnings call next week and GTA 6 trailer 2, whenever that will be. Maybe it's next month, maybe it's next week, maybe it's tomorrow, who the fuck knows. But likely at this point the game is getting delayed and it'll be pushed back more than likely into 2026. And there's going to be a lot of fake outrage wait till the game gets delayed. You're going to see all these reaction posts and all these reaction videos and they're all fake because anyone with a brain, you figured this out already, that the game was delayed. But you're going to have a lot of people going, oh my gosh, Rockstar delayed GTA 6. And they're going to do the fake crying on the camera for the clicks. It's so funny when it's blatantly obvious that this game isn't seeing the light of day anytime soon because it's been over 420 days and they have nothing to show for, and that isn't changing as we are literally in February of 2025 and still no update from Rockstar Games. So with that said, we're going to wrap it up here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, tagging along, supporting the show. And we will see you guys later. It's over.